My name is Shirley Jacobs, and I am on the leadership team with AAPT. I have been a pharmacy technician for 36 years, now retired, and have been with AAPT, I believe, around 26 years. Our next presenter is Rachel Wagmaister. She is from the Office of Continuing Education Manager at the University of Colorado Skaggs School of Pharmacy. Those of you that were in Colorado last year would have seen her present then. Rachel has a Master of Science in Management and is a new CPhT. Let's give her a round of applause, becoming a CPhT. She's now one of us. So without further ado, please welcome Rachel.
Colorado Skaggs School of Pharmacy. That's where I work. I've been there for about 9 years, and I manage the Office of Continuing Education and Professional Development. So I created this presentation because I wanted everybody to really understand a perspective of a new tech, and it really changed my outlook on the pharmacy profession and what it means to be a technician as well as a pharmacist. I became a technician particularly because of this conference and because of meeting Judy Neville, who's absolutely fabulous. And just that one decision can be really life-changing. So I hope what you take away from this presentation is making a small tweak in your life, a decision, a change can really impact you and move things in a direction that can be definitely positive and make your life and others' lives for the better. So here are our objectives. Oops, here we go. Since I do CE, we have to do everything by the book. So objectives. So what I hope you take away from today is describe the common misconceptions about pharmacy technician role and explain how real-world practice differs from these assumptions. Identify key skills, responsibilities pharmacy technicians use daily and extend beyond certification and formal training. And finally, we want to recognize factors within pharmacy systems and workflows that influence technician confidence, performance, and personal growth. So how this journey began, partly in my office of the continuing education, I am not part of the School of Pharmacy. Well, I am, but I am required to make my own revenue. So my office does not rely on the tuition of our PharmD students. So coming up with continuing education programs and accrediting conferences like this is how my office makes revenue and makes money. And any money that I bring into the school is kind of like icing on the cake for our school. So it's a good thing and it's a bad thing because you're kind of like you can do and create what you like, but at the same time, there's always someone looking over your shoulder as to how much money you're bringing in. So I had noticed that the University of Colorado, the University of Colorado School of Pharmacy, which is almost 120 years old, it's one of the oldest schools at CU, has never had a pharmacy technician program, never had pharmacy technician training, never connected to pharmacy technicians whatsoever. And because we were low on ideas when it came to CE offerings and bringing in revenue, I thought, well, why don't we create our own technician program? Why don't we have something like this? It seems, well, I wouldn't want to say easy enough, but it seems like something our school can do if it's 120 years old and it's full of professional faculty that have won awards and we're pretty renowned across the country. And what I was met with when I brought this to our leadership was pushback and questions and faces like, why would you want to do something like that? You know, what is the point of this? And how is this going to help our school? I went on to say, well, it will bring exposure to our school and hopefully bring in more revenue. And maybe some of these students will be interested in becoming pharmacists. And I think it's, one of our missions and goals as a school is to expand the pharmacy profession and advance patient care. So as I'm presenting this to the executive leadership, they're like, well, there's no career growth in that. They come to me with all these misconceptions. And I really think they have this pharmacist tunnel vision. And a lot of the times they do this when it comes to making big decisions. They're very type A. They have to, they don't like to make decisions. So they asked me to do a bunch of research on pharmacy technicians and to, bring in more proof of why we needed to have this program. Because I don't know if anyone's in here as a pharmacist or online. I don't mean to, not all pharmacists are like this, but I feel like they're a little bit on the ego level and they don't think something like this is needed when they've been educating PharmDs for quite a long time. So I pushed back and I did my research and I presented quite a cohesive, well-rounded report for them. And some of the things I found about technicians was pretty interesting. So does anybody know the projected growth between 2024 to 2034 of the career of pharmacy technicians? How fast is it growing? Anyone want to take a guess? 10%? 10, 30? Close. So the answer is C. This is from the U.S. Labor Board and Statistics. Between 2024 and 2034, the pharmacy technician role and profession is outpacing the average of most, if not all, occupations. So an average growth is about 3% for occupations across our country. Pharmacy technicians are 6% within this 10-year time frame. The two occupations that are a little bit higher than that are nurse practitioners and physician's assistants. But if you think about it, it makes sense, right? Both of those professions they're prescribers. They can prescribe, which means there's a bigger need for pharmacy technicians if these individuals in this profession are able to prescribe. So this was one of the things, and being in the Office of Continuing Education, I would get questions about, well, do you have pharmacy technician certification? Do you what kind of continuing education programs? So all of this was put into the report of the executive committee, and they finally gave me the approval to go ahead and create this program. And it was more on the lines of, yeah, okay, let Rachel have this thing, whatever, she'll have fun with it. We'll see what happens. It won't, it'll probably fizzle out when it fizzles out, right? So I was allowed to have a certain budget to create this program. And knowing Judy Neville and this fabulous organization, I had accredited the conference in 2024 for you all. And Judy was the one that came to me and said, hey, we already have an online pharmacy technician program here at the University of Nebraska Medical Center College of Pharmacy. Would you like to share this with our school, and we can do a profit share? I would duplicate all modules for you. Your faculty can add content. It would be University of Colorado facing, and it would really help with your budget and time. And I can walk you through it because I'm director of the program and also a technician myself. And I thought, fabulous, because way to save money, the content's already there. I can get some of our faculty who were on board to do some modules. It really, really worked out. However, I was a little nervous because I'm not a pharmacy technician. I was an administrator for our school for quite a long time. And in order for me to manage this program, since I really wasn't given any help within our university, I thought, well, I should become a pharmacy technician myself, right? Because if I'm going to manage this program and ask questions, people are going to come to me with questions. And if Judy's not available to help me out, I should become one myself. And I thought, well, this can be easy enough. I mean, the way the pharmacists at our school perceive technicians or the way they talk about technicians, it seems like something that anybody can do. And I thought, well, I have my graduate degree. I've been in higher education. This is going to be a piece of cake, right? It wasn't. And so what started as this administrative decision became a transformative experience that forever changed how I see this wonderful profession. So I did. I ended up taking Judy's course, the Nebraska-facing course, and finished, and I passed my certification, passed the PTCB in December of 2025, and became a certified pharmacy tech. So the program was going spectacular. We launched in June of 2025, so it's been a full year since we've had our program at CU, thanks to University of Nebraska College of Pharmacy. And within that year, partnerships, organizations were coming out of the woodwork to ask for, hey, can we partner with you? Can we do some sort of externship program with your technicians? Are you doing experiential work with them? We're in desperate need of technicians here at our hospitals. Whatever you'd like to do, we'd be happy to get on board with you. So one of the first individuals to reach out to me organically was Children's Hospital. And this is Children's Hospital on the Anschutz Medical Campus, where our school pharmacy is located. There are 3 hospitals on our campus. There's Children's, there's University of Colorado Hospital, and then we have the VA. So they reached out and said, hey, let's set up this pipeline program. Your technicians can get experience. They can come over here maybe for 4 to 8 weeks, and then we would be happy to if they're interested in hiring them on. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's amazing. I think this would really work out. But I thought, well, I should do it myself because I want to test things. I want to see how it is because, of course, if anyone's going to ask, again, I should be a pharmacy technician. I should really try because I didn't have any experience as a pharmacy technician. So I thought, okay, so they set me up with this beautiful schedule of me to try it out. It was 3 weeks last December, and it was, so that's me with the fire hose, because that's what it felt like when I took on this mini externship at Children's Hospital as a technician. And I went to my supervisors and I said, I'm going to do this. And again, they looked at me like, why would you want to do something like this? Like, why would you put yourself, I mean, I don't know if it's not computing or what they think, but they let me do it. And I learned an incredible amount. And part of this presentation is my perspective on, as I said before, my perspective on the profession and the remarkable technicians that I met during this small 3-week time period at Children's Hospital. And they laid out a beautiful itinerary for me where I got to spend time in each of the pharmacies they had there and learn from all these pharmacy technicians and pharmacists at Children's. So I put myself through the process, and it was hard. And when I say it was hard, not only was it mentally hard because it was something new that I was learning and experiencing, but it was like physically hard. Like my body hurt. I'm used to sitting at my desk all day and typing things up and communicating via email or phone. But as a technician, you're moving, man. You're jamming. Like my feet hurt, my back hurt. There was a couple days where I had to give myself grace and like take a break because I was like so overwhelmed by everything. But it was a great experience. So does anybody take a guess? I don't know if everybody here is a hospital pharmacist or would know. Does anybody know how many pharmacies are inside Children's Hospital or like a typical hospital? Close. So it's D. It's 5, and this was news to me too because I always thought it was just like the outpatient pharmacy where people went to go pick up their drugs, their patients' drugs. However, they consider their satellite pharmacies within Children's Hospital pharmacies. So they have an OR pharmacy, an ICU, they have an oncology pharmacy, and then they have their central pharmacy in the basement where the magic happens. And then they have their outpatient pharmacy where the parents come and pick up prescriptions and all of that stuff. So I was lucky enough to be able to work in all of these pharmacies, and it was very impactful. And partly because of the technicians that I worked with were remarkable people. One of the first I started off with were Teresa and Bree. This was a job role that I didn't know existed, but it was specific to them in Children's Hospital, and they were Omnicell technicians, and that's all they did. They monitored, I believe there were about 500 Omnicells, because they also helped with the clinics around the Children's Hospital area, and their role was to monitor and stock all these Omnicells day in and day out. They created their own tracking process, which was really remarkable. And they did quarterly trainings. They'd attend conferences similar to this. And they actually faced altercations. Next to Children's Hospital is the Gary Pavilion where the psych ward is. So on the 5th floor is where the patients are A lot of them are inpatient. Some of them are there for evaluation. And they mentioned that I wouldn't be training there because they were attacked by one of the children, grabbed their lanyard, choked them. And one of the reasons they don't have lanyards anymore is because of that at Children's Hospital, and ran away with their badge. And they had to stand around and be patient until the child dropped the badge, because I guess they don't have any hands-on there with the nursing staff. So I thought, wow, I mean, you're just doing your job as a technician, and this is one of the things you have to face. But they were just very gracious and open and understanding, and really proudful of their job. I worked with Lizzie. Lizzie was the technician's operation manager in the inpatient pharmacy in the basement of Children's Hospital. She has been a technician for over 20 years, and this role was created for her at Children's Hospital, specifically to oversee and manage all technicians, in addition to managing Project Search, which was really cool, which I learned all about. Project Search is put on by Children's Hospital, and they recruit and train high school students with intellectual and developmental disabilities in gaining real-world experience. So Lizzie, as the operations technician, manages two of the individuals I also got to work with who were fabulous, were Kyle and Levi. They are part of the Project Search. Levi has been with Children's Hospital for 10 years. He kind of does, his job is to sit and do the discardment of some of the drugs that are sent back, or the expired drugs, the ones that aren't dangerous or anything along those lines. And Kyle actually delivers the drugs throughout Children's Hospital. He delivers to put them in the patient's cabinets and files, the things that are needed daily that don't have to be locked up, the drugs that are needed daily. And I thought that was such a special thing and unique for a technician to manage such a wonderful project like this. In addition to that, Lizzie would just drop everything and go fix the laminar hood. Because a lot of people at Children's Hospital didn't even know how to do that. Many of their maintenance people, maintenance technicians, custodial people, Lizzie would just run up to the ICU pharmacy and go fix the hood. And I mean, the resilience of this person was remarkable to me as well. I got to sit with Lindsay, who was the buyer, and in addition to that was the inventory manager. This woman is 22 years old, and she manages the entire inventory for Children's Hospital in the basement for pharmacy. She's ordering and purchasing $250,000 of drugs. She was just recently met with the Board of Pharmacy and reorganized their inventory and storage area within the inpatient pharmacy. She's fantastic. She's warm and welcoming. She is a sole entity right now. The other buyer actually quit, and so she was working overtime and just really sharp and knew her stuff. And I thought, wow, this is a job I didn't know that was out there for technicians, but she just really made it her own, created systems and processes, knew people by name. The flight crew would come down and brought her donuts. I mean, she just was a really well-rounded, wonderful individual. I got to work in the controlled substance room, which was like a high security maximum prison at Children's Hospital. Marianne and Jolene trained me. They showed me their entire process. Marianne has been a pharmacy technician for over 30 years. She can do math in her head that boggles the mind of some of the pharmacists there. They are both very trustworthy. They train all of the new hires on the secure storage, how to check out their prescribed opioids. They do all the audits. They manage the disposal of the waste that comes through. She also mentioned that their diligence and the trustworthiness that is found in them. There have been multiple instances where they have caught waste of morphine and the opioids that go through the hospital. what would you call it, a fake. So they're sending back the waste and it's not that particular drug, right? And I said, oh, and I looked at her and I said, oh, wow, so the nurses are stealing the opiates? And she looked at me and she said, no, the anesthesiologists are. So that's pretty remarkable that this technician has caught several anesthesiologists taking the waste of these opioids, sedatives, benzos. She even found a individual that overdosed. It was a traveling nurse, and because they were a traveling nurse, they kind of got away with the sneaking of waste, or I didn't know exactly the process they used, but they were found in the basement. They overdosed on some of the drugs that they were taking. So another incredible person, Marianne and Jolene, taught me a lot about that particular field of technician work. Christina, I got to go up to the oncology pharmacy, which was a unique experience. As soon as I walked in, they gave me a wipey to wipe off all my makeup, which I didn't know that nobody warned me of that. So that was interesting. Took all that off, garbed up. This person, Christina, is a fabulous human being. I asked her why she likes working in the chemo department. To me, it was sad. I wouldn't want to work in that department. There's about a dozen children that are on chemotherapy in Children's Hospital. She knows all of the patients by name. She says it's quite rewarding that she can help these patients each and every day by supplying them the medication they need to get through their treatments. One thing she likes to do is place stickers on the IV bags before they're sent down to the chemo room, just to brighten the child's day. She had bluey stickers when I was there. I think it was close to the holidays, so she also had some holiday stickers that she was putting out. She knew everything about the parents, about these children. And she's also, I found out, currently enrolled at our school, CU Skaggs School of Pharmacy, in a PhD program. But she thought, being a technician is such a rewarding experience, and being able to be part of helping these kids really gets her through the day. So, Brandy has the role, and this is also a newly created role at Children's Hospital, and she's the pharmacy technician educator. She hires all technicians for Children's Hospital, and her goal is to cross-train all of them within the satellites and then the two main in-person and outpatient pharmacies at Children's Hospital. I was surprised that many of the technicians that come in, they don't know. They're very short-staffed on technicians, so she can't just send over somebody to go up to the ICU pharmacy. They have to be specially trained within that area. And that's why she was brought on. She does a lot of the scheduling, the overseeing. She fills in when a technician is out. She has been a technician herself for 20 years. She'll just jump in and start filling in wherever needed. And she was the individual that reached out to me to start this externship program with our school. She and I have become really good friends, and I think if she continues this way, she's really going to make some improvements in the technician world. So, common misconceptions, when I was going back to one of our first slides of the way the pharmacist I presented this opportunity to, I went back and I thought, common misconceptions proved wrong with this whole experience that I had at Children's Hospital myself. So anyone can do it? No. It takes patience, it takes a really tough skin, and it takes a certain mindset to be a technician, especially being at a children's hospital. Some of the stuff that they have to see and some of the stuff they deal with is heartbreaking. Children's Hospital also does a really wonderful thing that they actually put the picture of the patient on their chart, so it really makes them connect more to the individual they're helping with. No career growth was one of the things that the faculty told me when I presented the idea of a technician program to them. That's entirely not true. New positions are being created in addition to the nationwide need, as we learned about the growth of the career, growing double the average of most careers. And new positions, being at Children's Hospital, there's so many new positions being created by physicians, and a lot of them are because, there are so many new positions created for technicians, and a lot of them are because technicians are coming up with these ideas. Not the pharmacists, not the management, not the leadership at the hospital itself, but the actual technicians are saying, hey, you know what, this niche, this area I'm really good at, and I think I could do something about it. And that's where the operations manager came in, Lizzie, and Brandy's position as well, pharmacy technician educator. So technicians don't impact patient care. That's not true at all. Every day they show up. This presentation actually was a really good piggyback to Dr. Hicks's presentation because they show up with that attitude and that mindset of, you know what, today's going to be a really good day. My job's really hard, but I'm going to do the best I can at it. And I mean, Christina is a perfect example, like placing a Bluey sticker on an IV bag for a child that's going through chemotherapy. It can change an entire mood of that child during a really difficult time for them and their family. And I thought little things like that are really special for technicians to go that extra mile. So any skill can be taught, but there's something bigger than a tangible skill, right? So in comparison, going back to it's a low-skilled job, no, far from it. I think any skill can be taught, but there's something bigger than actually teaching the tangible skill. And that's having that mindset, that character, that personality that can get you through the day and be proud of what you're doing. Or EQ. Dr. Hicks kind of touched on it. Yes, thank you. Voice in the sky. Emotional intelligence, and that's exactly what each and every technician I encountered at Children's Hospital had. They had emotional intelligence, and that's really hard to come by. You can sit down and teach them how to compound something, but teaching somebody how to have patience and respect and have a good attitude and how to get through their day with a smile on their face when their job is incredibly hard is really, really hard to teach. So I don't know, maybe these technicians were just putting on a show because I was there on my externship, but I choose not to believe that. I think all of them were really happy in their positions. I think all of them were happy because they were making an impact on what they were doing and really proud of their work. And the last slide I was going to show, the reason they are that way is because I also noticed leadership at Children's Hospital, the pharmacy technicians that were managing them, along with the pharmacists that work there, really gave them that leeway or that trust to go above and beyond and create something that they could be proud of, a position that made sense to them. And because they're so short-staffed there on technicians, I feel like this is a really good place to start with organizations as, asking somebody, what would you like to do? Or what are you good at? Or what do you like doing around here? And that really opens up something where somebody could just take it and run with it. And I think going back to school pharmacy, I chose to disregard the negativity around the pharmacy technician program, but I believe they can now see, because this program is taking off, because these partnerships are being made, that trusting in me to do something that I enjoy doing and I think there's a need for has really made an impact on our school and as well as the profession. So I guess what I'd like everybody to take from this presentation is try something new, take that chance, make that suggestion, go outside of your comfort zone because you never know what will come of it. Last year at this time, I was my basic administrator role, organizing my day, sitting in on committee meetings, and now I went through a whole mini externship at Children's Hospital, became a technician, and I'm here with you fabulous people. So you never know what could happen when you make that small change. But that's it for me. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation.
Rachel, we appreciate the presentation. It was very interesting. And Judy had to run out, but on behalf of AAPT, we'd like to present you with this.
Oh, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it.
All right.
Happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much.